Hang on, I feel like I've got a kind of willy situation going on.
Dreadful.
Too much.
I've got too much fabric here, look. Do you see that? That's a penis. Okay, shall I pick up? I'm going to pick up. Okay. Yeah, but I'm worried I put too much powder on and then it catches on the hair on my face.
Hair on your face?
I feel like I've got quite like a hairy, like not in a sort of mustache or beard, but like a sort of bum fluff hair on my face.
Yeah. Well, that was side.
Oh,
I got chin in it.
No.
Wait, let's see the moustache.
I don't have a mustache.
Oh, it's all quite blonde, so you're alright.
But I also like a bit of microblading, at-home microblading.
Is that literally like shaving your face?
I'll do it live with you one day if you want.
Fighting microblading on the pod.
Are we ready to go?
That could be quite good. What? So you... But is it like getting it...
It's a blade, and then you just do this around your face, and literally the shit that comes out,
But then do you not grow a full-on beard?
Well, I think that's what's happened here. Let me microblade yours.
No,
please.
I don't want a beard, thank you very much. Have I got a hairy face?
Annoyingly, not a fucking hair on it. It looks like it was microbladed yesterday.
Really? Just a lot of like pigmentation, but we'll just ignore that for now. But no hair, that's lucky.
You really did win that gene pool lottery. I'm raging about it. Anyway, start the show. Come
on. Do we need to clap or anything?
We did that 20 minutes ago. Just fuck's sake.
Okay.
Makes her feel like a pro.
Why not this button? One down?
No, I think one down. Get them out. Get those perky bad boys out.
The perkiest.
Pissed a few people off that, you know.
What?
I got some feedback on that.
Really?
Some people arguing that you are not the perkiest.
How dare they?
Mm.
And who is?
I'm not going to divulge. Can you start the show, please?
We'll do that one later. Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the third series of Running Loose. My name is Francesca Cumani.
And I'm Vanessa Ryle. I'm the star.
Sorry, what? Sorry, what? We've been drinking in the meantime. You're the star or a star?
The star.
The star
of this show.
You're very purple.
I don't know why I started like that.
I don't know why you started
in my
like
head, I was just like, I am a star.
Okay, well, I will contest that. I think we are co-stars of the Running Loose podcast. Talk me through the kind of Margret Thatcher vibes with the pussy bow.
It is a bit Margret Thatcher, isn't it? But I bought this a little while ago and I've got a lot of wear out of it, actually. Because it's sheer, I think it brings some sex appeal.
How do you normally style it? Bow up?
I normally style it, done up to the top, bow tightly done, with a waistcoat over the top. Looks really smart.
Quite Margret Thatcher.
Yeah, but you know, wasn't she loved?
And the helmet hair?
Wow, maybe I am turning into Margret Thatcher. I don't know, do you think people looked at Margret Thatcher and thought, yeah, I would?
I don't know.
Does Margret Thatcher have sex appeal? Listeners, viewers, let us know, yeah.
Dennis did it for Dennis. Anyway, already off on a tangent. We are now, we're back in our studio.
And we're still sponsored by Old Gold.
We're still sponsored by Old Gold. We have no merchandise because Vanessa still forgot it.
No, Ed's going to be so mad.
I know, we're going to have to really grovel to Ed Seyfried, who kindly is sponsoring this through Old Gold. Lots of really nice horses available still on the website, by the way. Go to the Old Gold website and check it out. There's jumpers, there's flat horses, there's lots of different types of horses to get involved with.
I feel like now's the time. I really feel like there's a chill in the air out there. There's not a chill in the air in here, but there is a chill in the air out there. And it just already, I've had a conversation with one of my employees the other day about all things national hunt racing. And then I saw on the Old Gold Instagram that they had a few more entries. And I just suddenly, and then they had their Paul Nicholls Open Day as well. And I thought, it's happening, guys. We're going back jumping.
Do you know how I can tell it's getting colder and more wintry?
The temperature.
Another vital clue is my cat. My cat appears more. So he basically disappears all summer because it's warm and it's sunny and he's outside and he's hunting. And then now, every morning when Max gets up and goes for a run at 5 o'clock in the morning, the cat sneaks in and comes and gets into bed with me. And so we have a nice...
That's just such an obvious joke and I just can't say it. I actually can't say it. It's like a home goal.
You can't
It's just
say
a home goal.
But he's very nice to stroke.
I can't. It's just Honestly, those easy home goals, I'm just like absolutely.
I don't know where your mind is going, but my chocolate Burmese loves coming in for a cuddle when the winter starts drawing in. So anyway.
Do you know what? I'm not going to be the cliche and the obvious that everyone thinks I would be in this moment. So lovely.
Better than that. You're better than that. I think we had enough in the last podcast.
I'm better than that lowbrow activity. Yeah.
But we didn't really have a kind of personal catch up. And
No, we
people
dived straight
like,
in.
what do people like? General waffle.
Oh, well, from our poll, General Waffle went down very well. So let's give them some of that. What have you been up to? Your kids went back to school, and I did that cliche thing of saying to you, oh, was it emotional? And you're literally clearly the sort of mother that's like, goodbye and good luck.
No, it's so bad, isn't it? Although so cute, all dressed up in their little uniform. And little Teddy, who's only 3, was so excited. So for the last few weeks, he's been like, school? Teddy go school? Play choo-choos?
What, has he had a stroke?
No, he just talks like that. He's 3, all right? And he just thinks school is about going and playing with train sets, because that's what happened on his little taste today. And he got so excited about putting his little uniform on and then going off with his big brother. And yeah, literally not a backwards.
So wait, but he's
they were like,
not...
bye, Teddy. And he's like, yeah, bye, see ya. Not even. No, sorry, you just walked straight in there.
And he's definitely going to be a teacher's pet. But wait, that's not real school. That's like a little preschool. Preschool?
Yeah, nursery, yeah.
Phew.
Yeah, so 3 mornings a week. So he's all grown up. No, it's good because the little one, the baby who's like only 1.5, they're quite close in age, and so when they're together all the time, they kind of want the same toys and want attention the whole time. So I think it's going to be quite good for him to be a bit more grown up, and then she gets a bit more individualized attention. And she is going to be my jockey because I cannot keep her off the back of a horse.
Oh, really?
Oh, every time we go near the horses, she's like, wants to go on, and then wants a hat, wants a little helmet, carries the whip, and she's...
Isn't it funny? Is that nature or nurture? Because I know you ride, but it's not like... And I know you've got the horses at a horse, but it's not at home, is it? Is it outside the house? That is, yeah. But still, has she just seen her mum getting on a horse and now she wants to do it? Or is that nature? Do you see what I mean? It's just fascinating.
Also fascinates me is that, you know how you can have horses that are full siblings? So same dam, same sire. Full brothers and sisters.
What a full sibling
Yeah,
is,
exactly. And people go to the sales and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to buy this one. It's a full sister to that one, or a full brother to that one. But actually, that is so such an inexact science, because Teddy and Nina, progeny of both same sire and dam, could not be more different.
Really?
Could not be more different. So I think it's weird how kids by the
Nature
same
or
people
nurture.
that's so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, nature and nurture. Teddy does quite like the horses too. Harry, not so much. But back to school, quite a relief, because after York, I then had a week
God forbid.
parenting,
Without...
actual parenting. Yeah. I had to look after my own children for the
Quite,
whole...
quite the relief. I had 1 week without a nanny and oh my God.
I know, it sounds terrible, definitely. But when you are trying to do a load of other things, it's just so hard. And
to be
then
fair,
get 1 hour in the day to sit down and concentrate on stuff. And my brain is just exploding because there's so many different things.
To be fair to you, you're in a very small space because of the renovation, as we've been discussing a lot on the podcast over the week. So any regular...
And so many decisions to be made over the house.
And then there's not much space to just put the kids in a room and then you go to a desk. I saw that. I witnessed that myself. So I get that from your point of view. In fairness, I will not take the piss too much about that.
Thanks.
First class statement.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
First world.
Thankfully, the nanny's back. Anyway, and
Thankfully,
you?
the nanny's back and the kids have gone back to school. So great, got loads of time. What have I been up to? I went on a hen do down to Dorset. That was really fun, really unhenny actually. It was good fun, good crack. Really enjoyed that. And that was, so Minna Henderson is getting married to my friend Jack, and I'm actually his best man.
You're his best man's?
Well,
Best woman. Oh, that's
kind of
quite
and also
unusual.
he's actually kind of going to be raging about that statement because it's not factually correct.
You're not his best man.
I'm
Are you
doing-
the self-appointed best man?
I'm doing his best man speech,
Okay. But
but he has a best man.
who is no good at speeching?
Correct.
Or you stepped in?
So I stepped in.
Oh, okay.
He's asked different close friends of his to do different roles. So Jeffrey, I think, kind of is the best man, but I'm telling everyone that I'm his best man. But I went on the hen and I didn't go on the stag, but I am doing his best man speech. So yeah.
So that's what you were sending me messages about last night, being like, does this waistcoat go with that tie? I was like, what?
He's getting married in 3 weeks and he doesn't know what he's wearing.
And so now you're the style
I
consultant.
was sort of trying to help, but actually I don't think I helped. I think I made things more confusing.
Well, yes, especially I made it more confusing because you were like, do you like this? I was like, no, not really. And Max was like, not really. And then we sent it to Sarah, stylist Sarah. She's like, love it, it's great. And then we're like,
That was
all right,
confusing.
okay, so
yeah, that was confusing. But yeah, I've got to do a best man speech, which actually I'm really looking forward to because obviously a day can't go by where I don't make it about myself, even if it's
Please
somebody
don't make
else's.
that about yourself.
Well, I've got 2 rules. They've given me 2 rules. 1, don't make it about yourself, Vanessa. 2, don't wear white. So those are my 2 rules.
What, because it's see-through?
No, because it's a wedding and you can't wear white. Idiot.
Don't upstage the bride, basically.
Yeah. So I've got to try and make it not about myself. Anyway, and then I've really been looking forward to doing the speech. And now I'm thinking, God, I just know that the pressure's going to be on. I'd be much better. I love public speaking. So I'm looking forward to it. But I know that I'll look out and just see like a sea of people that I know. Bearing in mind, this chap so I have been friends with him for years. When we first kind of knew each other, he told his friend Jeffrey, who's now the official best man, that I was a transvestite.
What?
Just to take the piss. We were on a night out and Jeffrey had never met me. And so Jack was like, see that woman over there? She's a transvestite. And Jeffrey was like, no way, she looks very real. And, blah, blah, blah. And so there's like some sort of sweet irony or full circle cycle that I'm now going to be the best man at his wedding.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and
will you like write it all out and really prepare it, or will you bib him off the cuff?
Best man speech tips, welcome to all our male listeners and followers out there. Because I think the way I'll do it is probably have note cards, and then I'll tell you how it'll go actually, Francesca.
All right, Vanessa,
Call a
you tell me.
spade here. Is I will write down my little bullet point note cards. I will then not look at them. I will then go off on a little rant and then wrap up and then be annoyed at myself for not hitting the markers I wanted to hit.
Will you allow yourself a glass of champagne, 2 glasses of champagne, any drinks before you have to do it? Would you have to like stay sober until you deliver your speech?
I'm not going to lie. I'll be on it hours before.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
Bit better drunk?
Yeah, 100%. Aren't you? You're funnier drunk. I got told, did we already discuss this on the show when I got told you were bad drunk? I think I told you that personally.
Did we discuss? No, David Easter probably just said I fall asleep or something.
David said on wine, you're a bad drunk on wine, so he tries to keep you on beer.
To keep me awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like a bad drunk. I'm not like
you're an aggressive drunk
No,
on wine.
I'm not.
You're like you're a booze hound.
I'm not. Although we actually drank a very nice bottle of his wine at his house the other day while he was at Windsor. Although they had a 25-1 winner, so we thought we'd celebrate for him, drinking his very nice experience of red wine.
No,
I do go to
wine,
sleep.
do you?
I find it, if I've had a long day, I will kind of find it a bit soporific.
Oh, really? I don't drink wine because my body is a temple.
Just gin and tonic.
Actually, should we just jump straight forward to a question? Because we have a question for the end of the show, but it does tie in with this chat. What's your hangover cure?
Oh, wasn't it more specific, like hangover cure when presenting?
Yeah.
No,
I can't remember who sent that in. Sorry, everyone.
Cold water. Like if you've got a sea anywhere nearby or a pool or an ice bath or something, get in cold water because it really sorts you out. Otherwise,
oh my God, I had
a
really
Bloody
bad...
Mary and
yeah, I was just about to say. To be honest with you,
although not easy when you're presenting.
I would not be against waking up and having instead of milk in my coffee, having Baileys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I'm hungover and I've got to do something, a Baileys coffee. I'm not saying working. I'd obviously never work under the influence, obviously. I'm just saying in general, I would use Baileys instead of milk in my coffee and hope for the best.
Oh, just topping up.
Yeah, a little bit of a top up. I remember, sorry, this is a side note, but I was so hungover recently. I mean, bearing in mind, I actually don't hit the booze that regularly, like that hard. But I was so hungover, I remember having to like use the wall to get to the bathroom. And then I got to the bathroom and just the cold water reminded me of that. And I literally put on the shower and cold, and I was like, and I'm not good with cold water, but I was like, there is only one way forward here. Like, and this is it. And into the shower I went. Also, other things that I have been doing since we kind of had a proper catch up is I got the go ahead on all things Breeders' Cup. So I'm heading back to the Breeders' Cup back at Del where I've done the last 3. So this will be my 4th Breeders' Cup on the bounce, which I'm very pleased. You know, with all these things when you're a freelancer, you kind of, you know, you get your gigs and then you hope that you're going to get them the next year if you've enjoyed them or whatever.
You've done a good
and
job.
Not always. And so I was very pleased to get the green light on that this week. So I was
What
pleased
capacity?
about that.
Who for?
So I work for In the Money Media, guy called, it's a company owned by Peter Fornatale, who does a lot of work for Sky Sports as our American racing expert. And he's got a media company out there. He does a lot of work with the Breeders' Cup, and he does a lot of kind of wider media work with various different sponsors. So there's a lot of like YouTube content, podcast content. We do a preview show as well. And we work with like a team of American people, and it's really fun. Fun gang. I've known them a long time.
Didn't you tell me once you did it and you kind of went down the wrong track talking about like politics and religion or something?
Well, I made a joke about Jesus in Kentucky, yeah. That went down really badly. Some people did not laugh about that. So,
and you kept calling it the Kentucky Derby
instead of Derby. I learned quite quickly. I learned on the job there. But anyway, look, they've kept having me back, and I was very pleased to get the call up. It's great.
Is it a fun trip as well? It's Del Mar this year, isn't it?
I mean, I can, and this,
To make your own fun.
yeah,
Even
and
if
also
not-
like, I'm not being funny, and they know this full well, but like, I just have like, it's a lot of fun, and it's not loads of work.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So
So-
if we got somewhere nice.
I think I'm probably going to stay with a friend this time around, which would be really nice, potentially an Airbnb right on the coast, because basically for the Breeders' Cup, they actually have a media hotel. So they take over a whole hotel, because obviously it's such an international event, yeah. But it's often a long way away from the actual track, and they put on shuttle buses all morning and all race day, but it's a bit, you know, with the people. I'm joking, I'm joking, that was a joke.
One of the people.
That was a joke. That was a joke. It's actually a really great service that they do. It's a great service that they do. But this time around, because it was at Del Mar last year, it's back at Del Mar this year, it's kind of like you've got a better handle on like location and where you hang out and where you have dinners and all of that stuff. And so I was talking to a friend that was going, and she said, would we be better? We'd probably save money, because obviously you don't have the luxury of like all the media center type things, but you would be better saving a bit of money and having an Airbnb elsewhere. So we're going to try that tact. Maybe we won't enjoy it as much, but I hope
That tap.
What did I say?
Tact.
Is that not it?
No.
Once again, another fuck up with the saying. Sorry, it's tack. And what did I say?
Tact.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is, isn't it?
Well, we'd have to look that up. I hope you're
You know,
wrong.
change tack. So you know when you're sailing,
Yeah, I used
go
to
on
change tack.
and then you change tack.
Okay.
So you'd like change direction.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
I
you're
get
the
loads
star.
of those wrong. Come on now, that's like my
I'm just
MO.
educating you one expression at a time.
Which I love. I actually love. It's an educational process, this show.
Good.
So
So
yeah.
that's great that you're going to be back there. And just to kind of
Do you
give
know what I
people
think
an
we should do?
impression.
Sorry, before we move on.
What?
Do you know what I think we should do? Because you'll be in Melbourne that week and I'll be in the Breeders' Cup. We should do like a running loose special, and we should like call each other up and be like, how's it going for you? How's it going for me? And we could put it on like, I don't know, as a reel or something.
Yeah. We should do that. Well, actually, it is coming to that time of year, isn't it? Where the focus on domestic racing starts kind of dying down. Well, what are we now? We're start of September. So obviously September's really busy still. October as well, culminating with the Champions Day on what, like 19th of October, I think it is. And then that's kind of the big finale. Yet you then go back to Doncaster for the Futurity, etc., etc. But that's kind of the finale before the jump season starts, and then all the international stuff happens. So you've got Melbourne, you've got Breeders' Cup. After that, what you've got Hong Kong, Japan, Bahrain. I mean, you
Into
name
Dubai,
it. There is
Saudi, you name it,
Qatar.
yeah.
We're
We're not really on the international gravy train. I'm sorry.
Need to be.
Sorry.
Although
I say that laughing. Like, she's off to Australia, I'm off to America. It's quite international gravy train.
and I think I'm going back to Miami in January as well.
Are
so that's
you?
cool. Yeah.
For the Pegasus.
Yeah.
Why don't we do something out there together?
Yes.
I think that would be fun.
Yes. Yeah. A Running Loose hits Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be good.
Yeah.
We'll work
You
on
heard
that
that,
one.
Pegasus
We'll work
team.
on that
You
one.
heard that.
Watch out.
Yeah. Me just like, here's me just latching onto Francesca's coattails.
So which, no, that's rubbish. So which, if you could do any of those big international meetings throughout the winter, where would you go?
The ones you've just listed. All joking aside, the Pegasus is a great trip, but let's just take America out of it for a second. Of the others, I'd love to go to Hong Kong. Never been to Hong Kong. Obviously,
great.
huge racing jurisdiction out there. Great racing, passionate racing fans. Obviously, has a lot of British and worldwide interest actually, and a lot of their participants are obviously from all over Australia, England. I just think I'd really enjoy that.
Because that's kind of the thing, isn't it? So you get to this time of year, and whilst every country has its own racing operation, there are certain meetings throughout the year whereby it's more of an invitational thing. You get horses from around the world. So obviously Melbourne Cup's always looking for international participants, same with the Breeders' Cup. And that's very much a kind of America versus Europe type style thing,
true.
isn't it? And then Hong Kong as well, they want international participants. Japan as well, although it's so competitive there, it's difficult.
Very
and
difficult.
they're actually all in competition for the similar kind of horse to be going in. But obviously you can't do every single race meeting with the same horses, but it's very competitive. And as a result, the prize money seems to be going up and up and up, which is great for local trainers because they can then target those races with their horses. And especially if you've got a gelding or one that's maybe not going to make a stallion, not top, not.
Calandagan, off he goes. Al Riffer, as you were saying, being brought for the Australian interests. Rebels Romance will go Breeders' Cup Turf. You know, just like that's just off the top of my head, a load of our top class middle distance.
And Rebels Romance will be taking on Wimbledon Hawkeye.
Who won the Nashville Derby?
Won the Nashville, what was it, 3.5
million purse, yeah.
Purse?
I think it was at 2.5 to the winner, I think was
it's a bizarre race meeting because Kentucky Downs has like 8 race meetings in the year. They have loads of money because they operate kind of slot machines on track. They only have 8 race meetings a year, all on turf. And as a result, that really played into Frankie Dettori's hands because he's so brilliant on the turf, especially compared to the American jockeys who specialise more in dirt racing. So he absolutely cleaned up. He won the National Derby on Wimbledon Hawkeye, and then the next day he had 4 winners on the card.
Yeah.
And all great pots as well.
So in terms of the racetrack itself, I saw obviously like plenty of footage and like watched plenty of it. And it's quite rustic, isn't it? I mean, because they obviously don't have loads of race meetings. So why would they, they're not going to build anything super fancy. You see the horses walking around the paddock and it's almost like they're in a point-to-point, isn't it? They're just like cruising around there for 3 million quid. And it doesn't look like they're about to run for 3 million quid. But it was a great race, in fairness. Wimbledon Hawkeye absolutely bolstered up. As you say, may well go to the Breeders' Cup Turf, where he would meet the likes of Rebels Romance, and there'll be a couple of other Godolphin horses in there. Also, anyway, that'll be a good race, as it always is. But then, like the Frankie factor, let me just talk about that for a minute, because this is like, there'll be people listening out there who will have witnessed us doing the big Frankie farewell. Then he moves to America. Frankie goes to Hollywood, and now he's riding out there just like an everyday rider. He's riding loads of winners. The retirement party from over here is a thing in the distant memory. He's just flat out riding really well over there. Yet, from my point of view, it just feels like we had a star in racing, and then America just came and robbed it. And now we've got this whole narrative that he couldn't possibly come back and ride in the UK or Ireland or in Europe, full stop. But of course he could. He's not even retired. I don't know what's going on.
I think there's lots of different strands to this.
Okay.
And I don't really know where to start. But do you remember that year? It was the year before he actually gave up, when he was riding for John Gosden. A couple of things didn't go very well. They had a rift, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they put it behind them, and then he did keep riding for them.
Well, Gosden took him off the horses for a while.
Yes. And it was the following year that Frankie said, okay, I'm going to retire. I think a lot of it is down to that rift, because I think Frankie kind of thought at his age and stage, he doesn't want to be trekking around, riding every race meeting every day, running up and down the country. He wants to be riding the good horses or the good meetings. And look, he's Frankie Dettori and he's done amazing things in his career. So I think he was entitled to do that. But I think he thought if he didn't have John Gosden as a backer, and if he wasn't riding all the best horses, then where was he going to go? Like, who was going to take him on? He's in the autumn of his career, I suppose. So that's when I think the retirement thoughts started coming into his mind. And so then he announced it, and then he had this whole retirement tour, which possibly put a few people's noses out of joint, because he was going to different places and being celebrated. And I'm not sure if he was being paid to turn up at certain places, but that might have annoyed people because it was like the big Frankie farewell tour. And it's weird, isn't it? The kind of tall poppy syndrome a bit. It's like we all want to celebrate him, but then, it becomes a bit too much, and it becomes kind of, more Frankie with this and that. And then, you come to Champions Day, and it's like his big finale day of like, he's retiring, but he's not really retiring.
Yeah.
And then he's going to America. But I think he feels that he can't come back and ride here, even if he wanted to, because I think he feels unwelcome, because there was a bit of a like, Frankie's retiring and then unretiring. I don't think that, because obviously my family's had a long association with him, and I think he's a star, and I think he's so good for racing. But I definitely think he feels unwelcome.
Interesting. I never really thought of it like that. In my head, it was kind of like, you know, the decision to go to America was made very much coincide with that last day in the UK. As in, you know, it wasn't something that he's decided months after he's retired. He had obviously made the decision to go to America and then was still retiring in Europe, which was just a weird crossover sort of grey area.
But I think it made sense because he decided he couldn't keep riding in Europe because of what I said. Yeah. And so he then renounced his retirement and he was like, okay, I'm going to go out on a high. He had an amazing last season. But then I think he got closer to that point of retirement and he went, I'm actually not ready to retire. So I can go to America. I can live a whole different lifestyle. I can live in the sunshine. I can earn good money and I'm welcome there.
Yeah, I get that. But why would you not then just turn around and instead of sort of having the hard stop retirement, just say, this has been great, lads, but I'm relocating to America? Because then it just leaves the door, because that's what he's done. He's just relocated to America. He hasn't retired at all. Sorry. And
so
also,
rather than having the kind of farewell retirement tour.
And sorry, do not get me wrong. I'm actually a massive Frankie fan. Really enjoy Frankie. I'm actually here for all things Frankie. And I definitely think he should be celebrated. I'm just kind of raging that European racing has lost him to American racing, which then when you see how celebrated he is off the back of his 4-timer the other day, what a star he is, what he brings to a race day, it's like, how did we, what?
How much do you think the bankruptcy thing makes him feel like he can't come back here?
That I don't know, because obviously that all came out kind of latterly, didn't it? And it was sort of well reported on, and, you know, I don't know the details of that, and is that a factor? Maybe. Who knows? And as with all these things, you know, what we see in the press and what we hear is only a fraction of the story and is often not even the truth. So, you know, there's probably a whole nother elements in behind. But all I'm saying is that, you know, the 4-timer at the weekend made me think we miss you, Frankie.
Yeah. Anyway, that same weekend, we had other big races in America because at they had Saratoga, big race there, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and then also at Del Mar, 2 races that lead into the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah.
The one at Del Mar was won by Fierceness, great performance, brilliant. But the one at Saratoga, super controversial.
Drama.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, drama. With the jockey falling off.
Yeah, Riled Ortiz, who's like one of the best jockeys in America, super experienced, very successful. It was a bit of a funny one though, because when you watch it, I watched it back several times and I thought, he didn't seem to get a massive bump, and then he kind of just toppled off his horse, landed on the horse next to him. That jockey then ended up half being pulled off his horse, has both of his legs on one side of the horse at some stage, somehow manages to clamber back on board Wider Barrio. Meanwhile, Riled Ortiz falls down between the horses. Luckily, he doesn't get trampled by the horse behind.
He was lucky.
Okay, the horse is okay. The owner, meanwhile, of Mindframe was absolutely splitting feathers, potentially because it was caused by what they call a rabbit or a pacemaker coming across in the early stages, which had a kind of concertina effect. But it was a bizarre event.
Yeah, really bizarre. And also, like, American racing is rarely that dramatic. Dirt racing, you know, as in, obviously, because A, it's on the flat, but B, you kind of know how the races are going to be run. Yeah. And so it's rarely that dramatic, but it was real dramatic. And then Sierra Leone in that race, my heart just goes out to him every time. He just tries so hard. I know.
Unusual for an American dirt horse, isn't it? Because he's a closer, and so rarely do you see.
Do you know what I think with a horse like him, right, is like how much heart they have to have. Because so he sits way off the pace, he gets all that kickback in his face, which just cannot in any way be enjoyable for a horse. And then, you know, you see a horse that really is trying, like he could be on a loose rein and he's giving everything, his head's down, he's trying his hardest, and it's just the way he has to be ridden, clearly. But every time he doesn't get there, don't get me wrong, I know he has had his days in the sun and he's had big wins, but when he doesn't get there, I'm like, oh, pal, oh. And I just think like you can't breed that like will. So, you know, the fact that he'd like gallop through that dirt and like the pain barrier every time, and he just keeps coming out, and every time he keeps going through the pain barrier.
I know. Well, I mentioned pacemakers in that race.
Oh, yeah.
Now, pacemakers is something that I've been asked a lot about since.
Well, this falls into our poll with the explainer.
Oh, you know, poll with the explainer, yeah. And also,
like,
we can kind of move into question time. So the question posed is, I actually can't remember exactly what the question was, but there is quite a broad question around pacemakers. Like, are they allowed? Firstly, can they win? Who's allowed to run a pacemaker? And is it fair to have pacemakers? There's kind of a load of questions in one.
Yeah, it's been the season for pacemakers, hasn't it, really? Because
Kind of slightly come back into fashion, haven't they?
yeah, so
Just explain, what is a pacemaker?
So a pacemaker is a horse from the same team as maybe a more fancied individual that might be a bigger price. So your pacemaker would be a bigger price, and he's in there to set the pace for the more fancied runner from the same team, whether that be trainer. It's normally trainer and owner, but owner normally.
And why is it necessary?
And it's necessary because if in a race you are fearful that there's not going to be the right amount of pace on for your horse, then you want to make sure that you negate that by setting your own pace, essentially. So often in a small field, or just a field that's, you know, when you start looking at anti-post fields, you obviously look at where the horses generally sit, and if everything sits off the pace and isn't a front runner, or you really need two front runners, then you're not going to have a fair gallop. So then what can happen then is that you get a small field and they could jump out, have no pace on, and then it ends up being a sprint, which won't suit your horse. So you put a pacemaker in there to jump out, set the pace, and then everything should follow the pacemaker.
Well, they should. Except this season, we've had so many strange incidences where a pacemaker goes off in front, and then the rest of the field is detached by a number of lengths. And then you had that Sussex Stakes result at Goodwood, where Kirat, the pacemaker, wins at 150 to 1. And then at Dublin International, Burr Castle went off 80 to 1. Was only there to set the pace for Ombudsman, seemingly looked to go off way too fast, yet the rest of the field didn't follow. They probably went too slow. Ombudsman does manage to peg him back, but he finishes third at 80 to 1. And I think it's just confusing for people watching. Can you bet on a pacemaker?
Of course
Should you ever bet on a pacemaker?
You can, every horse in a race should be ridden and in a race to finish in its best possible position.
Should be.
Should be. But there's a general consensus across all jurisdictions and with all stewarding, seemingly, that
Not so much in Australia. They really frown on pacemakers.
well, you would
in
know
Australia.
more about that than me. That they are happy to turn a blind eye to a pacemaker. So essentially, they're not being ridden to finish in their best possible place because they're jumping out and they're using too much energy in the early stages
And doing a job for someone
doing
else.
a job for someone else. So in that sense,
and then sometimes, like, the bigger stables will run 2, maybe 3 horses in the same race, and you kind of think, well, this might be there to make the pace for the others because it's a bigger price, it's got the third string jockey on it, but then that doesn't always happen. And so when we're trying to kind of educate people at home or relay information to kind of make it clearer, it's not always easy.
No, and also pacemakers in general have gone in and out of favour. Pacemakers used to be a really big thing with Coolmore back, I was going to say back in the day. I don't mean that far back. A few years back, pacemakers were used with regularity to try and get other horses beat and their horses, in the right position. Then they seem to have gone off, really, the idea of pacemakers more recently. And then this season, like we've just said, it's been very much the year of pacemakers, but it's not always gone to plan. And it can cause a very muddling result, as per the Sussex Stakes, which is then, don't get me wrong, it's all fun and games and you have to report on it and it's like, oh, drama. But ultimately, we haven't seen the best horse win, and that's annoying. So it's tricky, basically. But, they're not used with that much regularity. It's big owners, isn't it? And
well, that's the thing also, is it fair? Because if you've got the resources to have 2 horses in the race, can you help your horse with another horse and other people in the race can't?
I'd be doing everything. If I had the money, I'd be throwing the kitchen sink at trying to win those races, All Ryled Up.
All Ryled Up. Okay, you ready?
No, I don't. What am I riled up
Oh,
about?
what are you riled up about? There's probably loads of things that you can be riled up about. Do you want it to be a racing one or a non-racing one?
I'm quite a laid-back character.
On the hop. Oh, really? You don't tend to get riled up very easily?
No, but I'll mention that before you press go.
Are you riled up about anything in particular?
The irony of this came about from our producer Ollie, I think, at the time, and he said that this would be a great segment, and in theory it is because it's got a great title. All Ryled Up makes sense. However, you're asking somebody who gets rarely riled up about anything.
Are you sure?
Well, the odd personal matter, but I can't really go into that on the pod.
Hairy face?
Oh yeah, and my hairy face. Sad times. No, I'm rarely riled up. I'm quite a relaxed person. Like, I'm the sort of person that someone cuts me up on the motorway and I'm like, good luck to you, pal. I'm just quite relaxed. I get a bad haircut and I'm like, no worries, love it. I don't get riled up about too much. Somebody hits my car and I have to have a hire car for 2 months. It's a fucking piece of shit. And I'm just like, whatever, it gets me from A to B. Just quite relaxed. But I have got one for you.
Okay, go on. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready, get.
Okay, what I'm riled up about this week is it's yearling sales season, and it just kind of pisses me off how in and out of fashion stallions go in the market, dependent on basically what a small group of bloodstock agents think or say about them. And literally the fashion changes as quickly as the wind, because you get one bloodstock agent propping up a bar with his Corona and he goes, oh, I don't like those Palace Piers. And then everyone's like, oh, we don't like the Palace Piers. And that's it. And it's just like, if you're standing a stallion, or you've got a stallion cover by a stallion that these, oh,
Go.
is that it?
That's it.
Oh, I just,
You were just getting going there.
I know, sorry. Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah,
it
I do.
actually is annoying.
Do you know what my dad calls it?
Go on.
He calls it the sheep. The sheep start bleating about one thing, like being positive or negative, and then everyone kind of follows suit, and it's so not an exact science. And it's
Sorry, and actually I use Palace Pier, it's not this season one because it's the first crop are now running, but that was a great one from a couple of seasons ago. You know, as foals, everyone's going, oh, well, you know, even when he starts standing, everyone's like, oh, Palace Pier, how exciting. And then literally they get to the yearlings and everyone's like, don't like the Palace Piers look shit. And then all of a sudden the Palace Piers come out, they look an absolute picture in the paddock, they're running great races, they're only going to improve as 3-year-olds. And don't get me wrong, I know you have to call it and you have to have an opinion as an agent, but I feel like there is a sheep mentality. It's like one person goes and the rest follow.
She's riled up. And on that note, I think we can wrap it up for episode 4 of the 3rd season of Running Loose. Thank you.
Sorry, Old Gold, I'm going to bring the merch back. I actually feel sad that we're not drinking out the Old Gold cups. Team Old Gold.
Bad from you. She'll do better next time. Make sure you join us for episode 5 of this series, and we look forward to seeing you then.